Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Indie Book Review. Today I am reviewing Brenna's Wing by W.B. Welch. So I should note that Brenna's Wing is not a book that was sent to me with the purpose of reviewing. I actually got it in a draw that the author was doing, and she sent it to me, and I have it as a part of my collection. I told her that I would review it, and that was a while ago. I kind of just got around to it. It's uh, it's a pretty small book. Like, I got through it in the course of less than an afternoon. Really, really quick, easy read. Um, so let's get on to the review itself. First off, let's go with the plot. This book doesn't seem to have really much of one, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's got a very distinct story to it, and a pretty clear beginning, middle, end. But they all seem to be kind of their own separate things, too. Like, the beginning, you're introduced to Brenna. The middle, some shit goes down that I'm not going to spoil. And then at the end, something else happens. And the ending is kind of alluded to within, the beginning and the middle, but not to the same extent, like to a point where it really made a whole lot of sense. So yeah, plot. I'm gonna give it give it a 3 out of 5. Like, there's definitely a story there, but it's not dynamic. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, it's a small book. It can only fit so much in it. Um, Characters. The character of Brenna is kind of interesting near the end. For the first little bit, she's actually kind of dull and boring. Well, boring's not really the right word. But yeah, like, you get to know who she is and find out that she's kind of neurotic. She's a little anxious, like she's got some anxiety issues. She's got these really bad dreams, and yeah. I mean, once this tragedy happens, she does become more interesting because you get to learn more of who she is and all this other stuff. But due to not really caring about her and not really having enough to care about her at the beginning, I'm going to give character 4 stars. And especially since there's not really much in the way of side characters to supplement it. Like, I mean, you look at something like The Wheel of Time, at the beginning, Rand al'Thor is exceptionally dull. Or Richard Cypher is exceptionally dull as a character, because they're the everyman. And Brenna is an everyman in her own way. But she becomes interesting right around the middle and continues to become more interesting near the end. So, but what Richard Cypher and, say, Rand al'Thor have going for them is that they have a very rich cast around them as well, where Brenna doesn't. A lot of the characters show up for one scene, maybe two. And yeah, it's not really something that works to its disadvantage as a story, but it does kind of drag things down as for Brenna as the main character. So yeah, it gets 4 stars, but take that with a grain of salt. Okay. So anyway, moving on. Writing. This book is very, very well written. She's got kind of a Stephen King way of writing where she does tend to go off on little tangents, but they matter. They mean something. Like, there's nothing there that doesn't either allude to what's going to happen later on or grow the character in your mind. You get to learn more of who Brenna is with each little tangent and aside that goes along with it. So with the writing, I'm actually going to give it 5 stars because it was very, very, very well done. Imagination. I have to tip my hat to this author for imagination, because holy fuck. I have never heard, like, I've never had such a description done so well in terms of a person dying in a certain way and a certain form of bodily mutilation that happens at the end. Um, it's done very, very well, and I mean, yeah, that goes along with the writing, but you gotta have some imagination to really delve into what goes along there. So I tip my hat for the imagination side of this, because I certainly could not have written something that in depth and still make it seem real. And I haven't read a lot of authors who really can do something to that extent. Like, congratulations, that's fucking awesome. And then the ending. So, like I said during plot, the ending didn't really fit so well. Like, yeah, it alludes to it, but that's actually not even the problem I have with the ending. It's actually a major tonal shift right in the last few pages. Like, I'm reading it expecting this really dark, somber ending, and to actually kind of feel a little depressed and saddened by it. But instead, what I got was this kind of a happier ending, and that's not really what the book was setting itself up for. Don't get me wrong, it does kind of work, but it wasn't really setting itself up for that, and that really took me out of the story. Even the sake that it was, the last 3 pages of the book itself, it just really drug me out of it, and I just couldn't deal with that in such a way, because the book itself it's kind of sad. Like, it's kind of built itself to be a form of horror. Like, it's not deep horror, it's not dark horror or anything like that. It's very interpersonal horror. A person dealing with shit, a person dealing with the world around them. And then, yeah, it got that nice ending, and I just wasn't feeling it. I'm not going to spoil what happens or anything like that, because I don't want to, and people really should read this. But for ending, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Like, it wasn't setting itself up to be what it was, but it was done very well. So, all in all, Brenna's Wing gets a solid 7.5 out of 10. So that's still pretty good. That's still pretty damn good. So yeah. Make sure to support this author. Like, she does a very good job of it. She has her own website where she posts a lot of her short stories, and her short stories are fucking fantastic. So make sure to pick up a copy of Brenna's Wing, because it is actually really good. It is an enjoyable read. And make sure to check out her short story page as well, because, like I said, her short stories are fantastic. And yeah, that's about all I got for you guys. I am continuing with not accepting any more books for review at this time, because, as I said in my last review, I've got one hell of a list going on. Like, there's 2 of them that I haven't been asked to do reviews for, but I kind of want to review them. But anyway, that's not the point. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, anyway, that's all I got for you guys, so have a good one.